Well, hey, everyone, welcome, and namaste. I am Kira, as you are, and together we are expanding consciousness. I welcome you to a dynamic episode, something that's the perfect follow-up after we've had our 4-part journey and are still digesting that whole consciousness of sin. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back, binge watch the previous 4 episodes, which are my gift to you, a mini course in the consciousness of sin and how to dissolve that. Today, in this moment, we're ready. We're ready to discover the true meaning of our spiritual awakening. I mean, the one that resonates with you, because it's not truth that which resonates with your heart. So when you discover the heart of your truth, when you discover that truth, when you are able to break free from that which limits you, then the true meaning of spiritual awakening emerges. And it emerges through a pyramid of all things, the pyramid of spiritual awakening, which I'm excited to teach today and share a lot more about with you. So make sure you get that hashtag out there, spiritual awakening, right? And remember to subscribe. So I want to invite you in this moment, as we're in this beautiful sunset here at 12 Hummingbirds Retreat, really bring your hands to your heart. And in my case, I'm actually smelling eucalyptus-infused air. And so I want you to notice the aroma that it's around you. And if it's not eucalyptus-infused air and you want it to be, receive that right now. And really call in your breath. I really want to invite you to call into your breath, because this body, this beautiful body of form, it needs air. You know, we can live without water for a certain period of time, live without food for a certain period of time, but air, not that long. And so let's take a moment and really receive the gift of air. Breathing it up through our nose, we want to open up our channels. So we're going to breathe up that Ave through our nose, exhaling a nice deep Sa. Ready? Inhaling Ave, exhaling Sa. With a smile. Because when we exhale with a smile, we send a signal. We send a signal to our body, to our soul, to the world. It is that affirmation that says, I am here. I'm ready. I'm open. Guide me. So feel into that. Feel into the knowing as you return to your own conscious awareness. You know, this is the gift. This is the true meaning of our spiritual awakening, because it's individual for each person. You know, this is the gift of the yoga of self-ascension. The yoga of self-ascension is that which is beyond all dogma. It is a moment where inside you arrive at that place, that unique place that is yours, that is part of the unique journey that you have taken. You know, one of the greatest gifts about the yoga of self-ascension is that it is as unique as you are. Every being is arriving in their space of conscious awareness in the way that is right for them. It is when we arrive in conscious awareness that all the pathways converge, that there is no more your way is better than my way is better than that way. It is the moment where we stand in the center, in that field of consciousness itself, aware, as the observer, the witness, as I like to share, and you're gazing at here, that 9th dimensional frequency where we have released the judgment, which allowed us to stand into that 7th dimensional frequency, which really then frees us, and especially when we have this wholeness meeting wholeness, and we are in that moment where inside that seed of creation, the two that have been inside the entire time are available again. That two is showing as a one, as a two. It's a respiration. And this is why we're opening up with this beautiful breath. Creation is a respiration. Your spiritual awakening is a unique journey that through the sacred sequence of incarnation brought you into this field of potentiality right now. Okay, breathe again. Let's go in. Ave. Exhaling. And as we exhale, I want to invite you into a recognition. The recognition that we are here, that this broadcast is being created in 2026 at a time when we are all navigating the alchemy of eternal life, the 5 wheels of eternal time. I mean, this is so important. I'm doing an entire episode on this in 2 weeks. So you really want to stay tuned to all the episodes. But as we are spinning these wheels, what's happening is that they are lining up. So we are having this ability to look through a telescope and see what's on the horizon with the wisdom of the moment at hand. This is a beautiful gift. This is an opportunity for you to look beyond and to remember that this is not hard. It's really not hard. That's why you found this show. That's why you found Expanding Consciousness, and share with everyone you know. Leave me comments right here because I do respond to every one of them. Help spread the word. We are all rising into this moment of conscious awareness. And as we do, that's how we discover the truth of our spiritual awakening. That's why we're here today. So I want to show you right now, I'm going to put up for you right now, this is the Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening that you're looking at. And the Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening first came out in my very first book. It has been out there for 20 years now. And here's what's so important to understand, because I'm going to show it to you. This is it in its basest form. So what you're looking at right now is just a very linear representation of what this Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening looks like. Now, what's important to really know is that each one of these beautiful fields, and we go through them all, there is no escaping it. It is an escalator. I'm going to show you the overlay when we put conscious awareness on it, which dramatically shifts this in its cosmic presence. So I want you to take a moment and just receive it, right? Just receive it right now. So if you gaze at the foundation, that is density consciousness. So what is density consciousness? Density consciousness is what we are all born into. We chose this body of form, this field of potentiality, this planet in this field of potentiality, which is the densest of the dense of the planets in this field. Now, as I share that with you, bring your hands to your heart and smile and celebrate that the level of mastery presence it takes to say, put me in the PhD of consciousness, is bow-worthy, and honor yourself. You are here because you are that extraordinary. And so we come in with this me focus. Consider the baby, right? The baby is born. It is helpless. It's me, me, me. I'm wet. Change me. I'm hungry. Feed me. I'm cold. Help me be warm. I want nourishment. I want snuggles, right? So it's very much about me. And density consciousness is very much the ego centered upon me and mine, preoccupations, and really buys into that basic planetary thought body of fear. And through that breeds anxiety, the need for all of the first three chakras to collapse. And when the first three chakras collapse, when chakras 1, 2, and 3 collapse into density, then the first chakra becomes all about safety. Keep me safe, keep me safe. Second chakra, all about sex. Third chakra, all about power. And so what happens is safety, sex, power, that engine starts running, me, and it becomes a self-limiting experience. And many are stuck in density consciousness. And density consciousness, because it is based upon fear, is controlled by dogmatic traditions that must have a victim, a rescuer, and an abuser. And through that cycle, entrap into density consciousness. So that is very important to understand because it is the foundation. It's something we all walk through. And remember that every one of these, so in this density consciousness, there's actually three, if you were to put little dotted lines in there and turn that into 3 levels, so to speak. So you have the entry level, and that's really, the entry, I'm in, I'm swimming in it, I see it. And then you have a moment, there's always this moment of looking up. Throughout all of the levels, there are these moments of looking up. And you look up through density consciousness and begin to see just a little bit more, and you rise and begin to see a little bit more, and then you start seeing beyond the me and mine, and you start seeing into the field of activism, the field of righteousness, the field of, oh, there's an us. And this field, when Shri and I first started talking about this way back when in 2005, we had a lot of pushback on this. And I really want to clarify, I'm going to take down the graphic for a moment because I really want you to receive this. Remember that any ism is a dogma, and any ism carries polarization. And When we first start growing, we move into activism. I mean, I went to university in Washington, D.C. I was in tons of protests. I get it. I was as activist as they came. And it was an evolutionary process of conscious awareness. When we are stuck in an ism, and spiritual activism is, and in 2005, I started talking about this publicly, that we were at the most dangerous level of humanity, and especially when you put it with Hawkins' scale of consciousness. And that was the research Sri and I were doing, was the scale of consciousness with the rise in this energy. And what was happening is that when you see a rise in spiritual activism, it's actually the most dangerous place to be. And I want you to really, really take that in. Why is that? Because in the name of causes more polarity in this specific field of potentiality than any other. And in the name of is based upon what? Fear. It's based upon a fear that is coming out, and it principally begins with the fear of death, the fear of another, that yes, you've risen from me, which in many ways is easier. In many ways it's easier, because in the me, it's like the Matrix, right? You know, throw me back in and I want the steak and I want to be famous and I don't want to remember, blah, blah, blah. And that's why it's so big. That's why it's so popular, because the me has the greatest dogmatic overlay, because it's all about safety, sex, and power. Safety, sex, and power. That's all you're going to see, safety, sex, power. Because you're limited to rise into an ascended heart where we stabilize the sea of neutrality and are able to ignite our ascended presence. So spiritual activism is a fabulous stage, and we all move through it. It's also the stage where spiritual arrogance is born, where there is a belief system that there is a need to feel important, a need to feel extra special. And this is an interesting balance and an interesting dance, and you grow through it, because indeed, it is a beautiful, wondrous celebration worthy of the best party ever thrown when you wake up to who you are. Why are we not throwing those parties? The I am spiritually awake party, right? Those are the parties. And come have them here at 12 Hummingbirds. We'll support that. So when you are aware, when you are spiritually awake, when you yourself know that beyond the fear, beyond the doubt, beyond the hesitancy, that's the moment. That's the moment when you break free of spiritual activism, your eyes open, and I'm gonna put the graphic up for you again right now, and you lift. You lift from an us, because in the us focus, it's my us versus your us. It's a lift from density, right? It goes me to us, but it's no, my group, not your group. Until you have that moment of lift. And that is that ignition of heart. And often you feel your heart expand and you begin to see more, and you become aware, and you have mercy on yourself. And you see the greater picture and the greater unfoldment and how to move forward. That's when you move from activism into awareness. And that's when consciousness ignites. That's when we're able to stand in the center, because we have an all that is focus. And with an all that is focus, we embody spiritual detachment. And this is frequently misunderstood. People frequently misunderstand spiritual detachment as something that might be cold or feel standoffish. Spiritual detachment is a smile. It's the recognition of that divine awareness. It's the moment where everything illuminates. And when we dance there, we are able to really step into that fifth dimensional space, to really stay in that field of heart-centered experience. And we anchor that. And through that, we discover how to lift again into that seventh dimension, where we let go of the judgments, beginning with the self, where we can see the beauty unfolding, where we're able to step aside from that egoic presence and be present here. And from that, we have the invitation through that piece of knowing, moving from victim consciousness, right? Victim, rescuer, abuser, into teacher, mentor, healer consciousness. letting go of the consciousness of sin. Go watch the past 4 episodes. And embodying the gift of this moment, staying right here in multidimensional awareness. It's in that moment that the template of consciousness fully reveals itself, that you become the prayer wheel, that you lift into the gift of spiritual joy, which is completely different than density bound. That is a knowing, it's a presence, it's a being. It is an awareness that cannot be taken away. It is a knowing that is just yours to have. It is the smile and the recognition and the absolute mastery in body. The smile that lifts us into full ascension consciousness, or the living field of conscious awareness. Breathe that in, the living field of conscious awareness. Now, what happens then? Well, then, I'm going to show you. This was, I mentioned earlier. From here, look what happens. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. What you are seeing right now is the pyramid of spiritual awakening with that illumination. Look at their density consciousness, and you see that wide swing. It's kind of like that pirate ship, right, that goes back and forth. That's density consciousness. It's always back and forth. It's like a pendulum. But you see right in the middle the evolution of you, the movement up of the illumination, the light. And you see when you lift from density consciousness into spiritual activism, you see that first big ring, because now you start seeing the bigger picture, but it's still yours to move. It's the first wheel of time. Remember, we're moving 5 wheels of eternal time right now, okay? And they can move in many different directions, and we are the commander. Think of it as a harp. And so when we lift from spiritual activism, do you see what happens? Do you see the wings that open? Look at the lift on the line between spiritual activism moving into ascension awareness. You see that your light body, and you throw out your arms of service to create the sphere, that area, the sea of neutrality. I am here. That is the opening, is the moving into ascension awareness, because it's the relaxation of the ego. It's the relaxation of the spiritual arrogance. It is the letting go of jealousy, greed, and competition. It is the moment we arrive at the table of the masters, at the table of the elders, ready to do the work because it's the right thing to do. And you see that illumination where the star starts turning again. The eye of the pyramid opens, the sun rises, and together we all flourish. The key to the truth of your spiritual awakening, bring a hand to your heart, feel it, know it beyond doubt, and then smile that you are here, you are ready, you are open, and you are guided. Make sure you check out IamKira.net and be here every Tuesday. Come down to 12 Hummingbirds Retreat and share sacred time together. We're at a beautiful moment, beloved ones, and I honor you for saying yes. Namaste.